was wondering if you could start by maybe telling me a little bit about the very start of this project. So what was that problem or gap, I guess, that Woodgreen wanted to solve with these digital services, and like why were we kind of going down this route?
Yeah, so way back 5 years ago, we started talking about our strategy, Woodgreen strategy, and what we wanted to do to really create change, perhaps in a different way for pets. We really have had this sense for some time that rescue and rehoming is really important, but everything that we've got so much knowledge and experience and so much to give to pet owners to help them support their pets in a better way, that we sort of stepped back and went, okay, well, what are the options for us? How can we essentially leverage all of that knowledge and experience and get it to more pets ultimately? And is there a way that we can do that which can be done at scale? Because that's always been our challenge. We've got really great individual people who are just brilliant one-to-one, but we always had that barrier of going, well, how do we move from that one-to-one brilliant, advice and information to getting that to more people without, essentially employing a whole army of people and then trying to understand how we educate them to get to the point where they've got that as well. So we looked at the challenge of all of the information that's out there for pet owners as well. And of course you always think, we're like, well, our information and our way of working and our support to people is so much better than everything that's out there. But how do we let people know that? How will people ever know that the people that we need to speak to is a Woodgreen? They're the ones that are going to give us the real kind of the advice that's going to make a difference for me and my pet. It's going to feel accessible and achievable. So we've really wanted to get information out there, but we're really conscious at the same time that there's so much, and we just didn't want to do more of the same, essentially. And we had lots of advice on our website and stuff, and there was some engagement with that, but there was nothing to tell us that it was making a difference, or we didn't sort of get feedback. It was all what we were putting in the world and what we felt people needed to know, and we just weren't engaging with pet owners to find out really what they wanted to know and how they wanted to engage in content and information. And that was really our challenge. We were like, we've got all this great stuff, how do we get it in front of people in the right way to make a difference to their pets? And the next challenge in that is always going to be, okay, well, even if people read it, how do we define the impact of that for pets? And that is always going to be an ongoing challenge for us when, the direct intervention with a pet is so tangible. But when we're saying, well, we're giving information and advice, and for people, that's quite a stretch to go, well, is that making a direct difference to pets? If you're investing there, does that mean you're not investing in more of those more tangible one-to-one activities?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess, how has what we've done in creating these services been a bit different for you, and how has it had, I guess, an impact on the organization? Like, what has been that change and that kind of reroute into this different direction? Like, how has that been for you in the organization?
It has been such a fundamental change. I have to say, that right from the beginning, this real sense of, we have to talk to customers, we have to talk to pet owners. That is the audience that will help us to be successful in this, and stepping back and going, it's not about us, it's not about all of the information that we want to give and we think people need and should be accessing. That's completely pointless if people won't access it. So that real shift to that audience, who are they, what do they want, how are they going to engage with this, has been huge, because our whole life in everything that we've done has been about animals, about pets, and learning about them. They're our beneficiaries, they're our audience, they're our customer, they're the ones that we want to make a difference to. So have always been the centre of everything. And this project really showed us how we can still be pet centric. This is still about the pet, but we've got to learn how to influence the people in order to achieve that objective. And I think this project and working with you guys has really helped us take that step and understand that. And it hasn't been, it's not always been the easiest journey. I think particularly when we got to the point of kind of developing content for all of the products, I think people's visions had been like, we're still giving all of this information because they need to know everything. And we're like, well, yeah, but you need to get that in a really, really small word count and in an engaging way that people will do. And that has been a real massive stretch. And I have to say, at the beginning of this project, if you'd have asked me if we'd have been able to achieve that with some really, really long-standing, incredibly experienced members of the team, I'd have been like, that's going to be tough, and I'm worried we're not going to be able to achieve it. But that's such a shift, getting all eyes on. It's not about us, it's about the end user. What do they want, and what's the best way for us to serve up information that will build that relationship and start to make the difference. And that's been huge. We've done this obviously in the digital space, but we've taken all of this learning. We're doing equivalent work through our community spaces, out there supporting pet owners, really kind of looking how we co-create with people in the communities to understand what they need and what they want. So we're learning from it every day and looking at how can we take this learning in a very kind of digital space that is really, really evolved to how do we do that on the ground with pet owners. And that in itself has really, really kind of helped us scale the impact of this work beyond even these products as well. So it's really exciting. I think we've all learned just so much more than we ever believed that we would. And the kind of the passion, the excitement, this feeling that we're going to achieve something. We've got something really tangible that we can put out in the world and go, yeah, this is good. And we can talk to our friends about and go, you know what? You want some advice? We've got this great thing and it's really easy. I'm not suggesting you read 25 different books and 400 really long articles. I'm saying go to this route and this will help you find the information that's relevant to you as an individual that will help you ultimately improve the welfare of your pet. You'll get a better relationship with your pet. But for us, it's all about, and has to always be about, improving the welfare of as many pets as possible. I think we really believe that this will help us achieve that.
Yeah, and I can feel like the pride from the team, like you can just tell they're really proud of what they've achieved, and that's so nice to see. And yeah, I mean, I also keep sharing it with my friends. I'm like, oh, you finished with your dog? Oh, go visit us, Woodgreen. Like, yeah, I've been pushing it to people, and very excited when they go fully live. I guess something in what you just said around like the long-term impact of these, I'm really curious about like, what do you see as the long-term potential of these? Like, what's your hope for them? And what are some like indications that you've seen so far that these could really have that lasting impact?
I think for us, it's really hard not to get super excited and think this is going to be like the best thing in the world. Obviously it is. But, we're a multi-species organisation, and I think we're really interested to see whether we can leverage any of this in terms of other species. Quite different audiences, we think, for cats and small pets. So I think that's something we really need to consider and need to be open to. And again, what this project has taught us, things don't always flow as you expect them to. We kind of go, oh, we're multi-species, so therefore we need to do the same thing for cats and the same thing for small pets. But actually now we're like, we just need to understand our audience, and, is it going to work for them? We're probably not sure, but it's not down to us. It's down to that audience to understand what they would benefit from and what they'd want. I think we came into this project with one audience in mind, our naive newbies, which has driven this, but that's created, I think we believe actually it's much further reaching than perhaps that initial audience, but there's more to be done there in terms of considering who else might want to access this in what way. Are there opportunities for partnerships for us to kind of, again, to really push this out beyond our brand and our audiences as well? So it feels like there's lots of opportunities in terms of what happens next. But, you know, like I said, I think it's also not only the products and the output from this, but it is the experience, the journey that we've taken and the learning that we have really achieved through that, you know, has been far reaching. Everyone who's engaged with this project has learned something, and we've starting to see a real shift in the way that we think. I think we always felt we had great ideas and great experience. Execution, you know, speaking honestly, was poor. It was like, oh, you know, we had this great idea and we tried to put it out in the world, but it didn't land. And it was always like, why didn't it land? And I think, you know, this project has taught us, like I said, that importance of the audience, but also finding great people to work with who really kind of match your energy and also pick you up when you're losing that energy as well. And I think, you know, the other thing that we've seen from within Woodgreen, you know, real collaboration on this project. And again, that's something we've struggled to align people to be in the same place at the same time, focusing on the same project and the same priorities. And this project has really proven that we absolutely can do that. And we absolutely get the best outcomes by drawing in all of those different people and engaging them along the way. So, you know, like I said, the products we're so excited about, you know, Pet Explorer everyone is doing it and having a go and working out what's the best breed for us. You'd think we'd know, but and going to ask the virtual training, you know, that breakthrough of going, oh my God, it takes ages to train somebody to do something. And then you're like, oh no, we can do it in much more bite size. And not only can we use that for customers, we can use that for our staff, our volunteers, our supporters. You know, there's just, you know, the output, but the way of working, the culture shift that we're starting to see within the team, that we will absolutely go on and maintain and use in projects moving forward as well. It's a different organization to what it was, incredibly. And you kind of think, one project, how can that be? But it really is. And I feel more, I suppose, more optimistic for the future than I have for a long time, in terms of how we can really achieve scale in terms of getting of our reach and our knowledge and information to really impact and make a difference for pets. And that's obviously just hugely motivating, because that's what we're here for. We want to improve pets' lives, and actually this has shown us that there are different ways to do that, and we can do it.
Oh, that's so good to hear. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously been super motivating for me too, seeing like the impact of what we can achieve together. And I think also just working with the team, like as you said, that collaboration, like it's just so nice to see all the different functions coming together and banding together to achieve this impact. Like it's been really cool to see that.
And just the tech skills. I mean, oh my God, as you know, the team were all like, I barely know how to send an email, let alone anything else.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like from Sue to being like, I can barely send an email, to now like writing all of these breed profiles. I'm like, it's honestly incredible.
Mm.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Well, yeah, those are all my questions for you, just like 3 basic questions, but that was so helpful, Linda. Thank you so much. And I think like,
Sorry,
like no,
babbled on.
no, it was perfect. Yeah, and you can just really feel the impact of the work, and it's nice to see. Like I mean, I knew that kind of, but just hearing it in your own words, to hear that like, yeah, we've kind of like shifted the culture of the organization. Like that's really cool. So yeah, it makes me feel really, yeah, proud of what we've achieved, I guess, as well.
Yeah, and that is the thing. Like I said, it's been so great working with you guys, and we're always like, oh, can we do some more? Can we do some more?
We want to work more with you too. I'm like,
Yeah.
I love this project. I'm like, what more can we do? Let's go back to the roadmap, see all of the ideas we
I
had.
know that. Oh my goodness. And then that is something we really need to think about and consider. I think, the next big project that we're looking at is the community program, and how we can kind of, we think we've got something great within our region, but we need to think about how can we scale that. And that is boots on the ground, but it's also the support structure for that as well, that we're just thinking about how do we go, oh, we've got something good, we just don't quite know how to kind of put it out in the world, and we really need to kind of work through that, and see kind of, again, look at how everything works together. What are the opportunities there? People have always seen kind of community audiences as very different from those audiences for the digital space, but what are the opportunities there? What do we need to develop to support that? All of that.
So much more to come.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's exciting to hear. I mean, the community work is so fantastic, and yeah, talking to Chris about it, like you can just really feel the passion there. Yeah. Well, yeah, those are all my questions for you. Thank you so much. That was so helpful.